Alliances, a basic part of Survivor that have completely shaped the history of this game. They started off simple enough in Survivor Borneo with the Toggy 4, and they have evolved since then in almost every season of Survivor. The next step of alliances from where we left off last with the Lone Wolf strategy is the bottom feeder strategy. Thank you all for supporting this channel. For the 1-year anniversary of Once Upon an Island, we are celebrating by doing a 4-part mini-series tackling the evolution of alliances and the strategies of alliances in the first few seasons of the show. This is part 4. Subscribing, liking, commenting, and sharing are what keeps the channel growing, and if you want to do a little bit more to help keep us growing in the years to come, then consider supporting this channel on Patreon. You get all videos weeks before they ever see the light of day here on YouTube, and you get to vote for which survivors I tell the stories of, and even get an exclusive Patreon-only video each month. Thank you for your support. So what is the bottom feeder strategy? Essentially, this strategy requires someone to flip on the majority at any given time by having the minority alliance join them to become the majority and do what they want. Unlike the Lone Wolf strategy, this requires being in charge and not flying under the radar, almost the exact opposite of the Lone Wolf strategy. You have to actively make good with whoever you are voting with, but then be prepared to make good with those you just flipped on next time. It takes a lot of social skills and guts to pull it off, and it can get you far in the game very easily, but one wrong move can end your game earlier than you would like. Robcesternino is the pioneer of this strategy. Now, I do have an in-depth story video all about Robcesternino, so if you're wanting more insight into his game as a whole, I highly recommend watching that. But for this video, we are focusing on the strategy that he pioneered with a lot of success. For context, this season starts off by being split up by gender. Men on one tribe and women on the other. Rob is obviously part of the men's tribe. That is until episode 5 when Survivor has them mix everything up, making each tribe co-ed. Now, nothing happens in the pre-merge that is really a part of this bottom feeder strategy. That is until episode 7 when the merge is about to happen. And Rob presents a crazy idea, something that has never been done in the 5 seasons prior, but is going to be new to this season.
But then you're just going to pick us girls off.
No, but we're not really going to do that. We're just going to tell them. Then you guys can also get the 2 girls to vote. It's kind of deceptive though.
Alex, are you comfortable with that? Absolutely.
He basically presents the idea that the new mixed Jabiru tribe he is a part of band together and bamboozle the 3 men from Tambaki while reeling in the women from the old Jabiru.
Once we have that majority, it's say, Roger, shut up. Shut up, Roger. Finally, the shoe will be on the other foot.
Everyone agrees to this plan, and this is the first time he picks up bottom feeders to create the majority alliance. Right now, there are 6 men and 4 women in the game, and he easily could have just rejoined the men and rode that to the final 6. But he has bigger aspirations than just being final 6. This plan does work as they completely blindside Roger from Tambaki in a 6-3 vote.
Here comes tonight's long distance dedication. Na 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 na, na 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 na, hey hey hey, goodbye.
Dave ends up going next, and it is all evened out to 4 men and 4 women. However, there's only 1 man left to bamboozle, Butch, and honestly, he's not a threat to anyone's game. The majority alliance then decide they want Dina gone, and while Rob likes Dina and has aligned with her earlier in the game, the votes are not there to keep her, and she is eliminated 6-2.
9th person voted out, the 2nd member of our jury, Dina.
At this point, Jenna, Heidi, Alex, and Rob are the perceived majority alliance going into the next episode, which is okay by Rob. He feels a lot better about this than he did about the all-men final 6. However, apparently that alliance, the new one that he's in, is feeling a bit too cocky as Alex talks to Rob and says to him,
The way I see it, if I win immunity, my vote goes for you, and I'm sure that if you win immunity, you're going to vote me out, and that's totally cool.
Basically, Alex says that, hey, at Final 4, I'm not voting against Jenna and Heidi because they're a tight duo. Now, that doesn't make sense. Why wouldn't he vote against them if they're a tight duo? But that's his logic. He says, Rob, you're going to be the first to go at Final 4, and Alex perceives this as something that Rob should definitely be okay with, except he's definitely not okay with it.
Alex's decision to tell me that he was going to vote me out at the final 4 is really kind of curious. I have never stopped playing Survivor, and over my dead body will I turn over and let somebody just pass me by.
He springs into action and decides Alex needs to go now, and not when they are in the final four and Rob is at the bottom. So he recruits the bottom feeders, Matt, Butch, and Christy, and forms an alliance to get rid of Alex, which everyone is on board with, especially Christy.
I'm like, dude, I'm with you. I'm with you to get Alex out. Just because Alex, I could care less about him.
It works. Alex, Jenna, and Heidi are blindsided by Rob and his alliance in a 4-3 vote.
10th person voted out of the tribe and the 3rd member of our jury. Alex.
As predicted, this greatly annoys Jenna and Heidi after Tribal, and Rob gets the brunt of their beating.
I've never felt so manipulated, cheated, and hurt all at the same time in my entire life.
This is the social part of doing the bottom feeder strategy that is the hardest, because you have to make good with those you blindside, which in theory is pretty much everyone at some point. The flipping and controlling the votes has Rob feeling like backstabbing all these people is probably not good for him if he sits in a final 2. He feels like his best bet in a final 2 is probably with Jenna, and he offers her a final 2 deal, but also tells her that the reason he wants her to be in a final 2 with him is because he feels like, you're the one I have the best chance of beating.
If I decide to do this, I've thought this all the way through of how it's going to be me and you in the final 2. I think the person that I could stand the best chance at the end of the game with is you.
Jenna, of course, doesn't like this and runs back to tell Heidi. They both blow up on him again. However, what better way to make them feel better than by having them join him in voting off Christy next, as she won't commit to sticking with Rob, so he has no choice but to eliminate her, as she makes it seem like she would eliminate him if necessary. Jenna and Heidi, of course, are okay with this, as they thought they were going to be going next, so he scoops up those two and Matt and votes out Christy 4-2.
11th person voted out of the tribe, the 4th member of our jury. Christy.
Now, just because they joined him for the vote doesn't mean they have forgotten how Rob has screwed them and they want him gone next. But once again, Rob is able to get together Matt and Butch to vote out Heidi 3-2.
Last vote. Heidi. Need to bring me your torch.
At this point, Rob can probably win against anyone left in the final 4, but can he get to the final 2? Jenna is the target for him, Matt, and Butch right now, but she wins immunity and is ineligible to be voted out, so he is feeling a bit powerless and actually allows Matt to convince Jenna to keep him over Butch, who goes home 3-1.
Butch. That's it, Butch. You need to bring me your torch.
It once again works, although it required him making the bottom feeders actually save him. However, at final 3, he is doomed, and this is where it all unravels. Matt throws the immunity challenge knowing he is a guaranteed final 2 person, whether Rob wins or Jenna wins, and Rob does end up losing to Jenna.
Rob is out. Jenna, take a step down. You have the most important immunity.
At this point, there is no one left to scoop up on his side. Jenna has been wanting him out for a while, and she holds all the cards.
The 14th person voted out, and the last member of our jury. Rob.
So that is the bottom feeder strategy. While it doesn't net Rob the win like the previous 3 strategies / alliances we have looked at, it does get him to the final 3 when he was originally potentially a 6th place boot had he not implemented it. This strategy gets used time and time again in later seasons, as getting to the end of Survivor is really all a numbers game on paper. It is used to great success, namely in Cagayan, when Tony Vlachos implements it and wins it all. Thanks for watching, and if you like the content you see here, then please support me and this channel on Patreon. Your financial support makes all of this possible, so thank you, and thank you for watching.